So, let's imagine that after many years of dreaming, you're finally going into space. Unfortunately, when you get into orbit, you're miserable. Like most astronauts, you experience malaise, disorientation, dizziness, nausea, and even vomiting. You just want to keep still and do as little as possible for a few days, because you're suffering from space adaptation syndrome, or space sickness. Neuroscientists and physiologists have not yet worked out exactly why space sickness occurs, but it seems to have something to do with a mismatch between the visual system and information from the inner ear, which sends your brain signals about your head's orientation and movement. So both the cause and the symptoms are similar to seasickness or air sickness. I never get motion sickness, you say. I love roller coasters. Well, even so, you're probably still going to get sick. 90% of astronauts feel it in some form, and 10% have a more severe form that includes a lot of vomiting. These are highly trained people who don't normally suffer from motion sickness, like test pilots and roller coaster lovers. In fact, even after a lot of research, it's still not possible to predict who's going to get sick, or to provide effective preventative training before flight. All you can do is take some medication and hope it doesn't have side effects, or wait it out. For a long-duration mission, space adaptation sickness is a fairly minor inconvenience, but if you have only a few days to work or play in space, of course it's more of a problem. Astronauts have noticed that moving slowly and not making big head movements can help. As well, it can be very helpful to have a constant directional reference, like mentally considering one of the sides of the spacecraft, for example the one closest to Earth, as down. Everyone then tries to stay upright relative to that, at least for the first few days. Dr. Giovanni Beltrami and his team at MIST Laboratory are working on a clever little technical solution which they hope will help people's brains adapt faster to spaceflight.
The idea is quite simple. We recruit the brain's auditory system to provide an additional reference. Here's how it works.
Here is our prototype. If I press this button, it records its orientation and keeps it as a reference. You can see on the screen it is tracking its orientation, and if I put on the headphones, I can hear a sound that is perceived as always coming from the screen, no matter where I look. You can test this by yourself. If you put on a headset, you will be able to hear the sound generated by your system. We would like to properly test the system, both on ground and in microgravity with a zero-G flight. We hope that your support will lead to more enjoyable commercial spaceflight.